Okay, looks like we are live. So I am working today on mission control, and I have been working on this for quite a while. So I want to introduce you to some of the concepts I've been working through with AI and some of the projects that I've been developing. And it starts right here on a mission control board. And so back in February, I started using AI, really got into vibe coding, looked at Alex Finn and a lot of his videos, and he showed how we can create this mission control board. And mission control is a way for us to really see what we're doing with all of our projects in AI. So where this takes me is really I'm just here on an overview page, and I want to walk you through this today. First of all, I need to explain one thing. I'm on a Mac. I've been on a PC my entire life. I have tens of thousands of hours on PC my whole life. As of last month, I switched over to using a Mac. I have no time on a Mac in my whole life. So this is all like new to me, using a Mac versus a PC. Some of it has been very intuitive, and some of it I've really needed a lot of help understanding. So that's really the first thing. But what I've done is created a local port that I can connect to. I'm hosting off of my local Mac right now on port 3000 this site that I had originally installed OpenClaw to create for me. OpenClaw was a way for you to be able to use the frontier models in AI and to exchange them. So I would be able to switch between Claude's latest release of Opus 4 probably 5 at the time. I think they're up to, well, they are up to 4.8. But then I could also switch over to ChatGPT and other various models as well. I explored running local models too, but really where I've landed here is with ChatGPT, and I use ChatGPT 5.5 for everything. But what it did for me was it allowed me to use my subscription model to do all of my coding tasks that created this web interface that I'm able to interact with. And so that led me down some paths, because there's a lot of us who are new to the idea of coding, or maybe intimidated by coding and don't want to be spending a lot of our time coding, but we want the results of a user interface that is dynamic and unique to us. That's what OpenClaw was able to open the doors to. Since then, I've migrated to using Hermes. Over the last month, I have begun to use Hermes, and I installed it as a desktop application. And you can see here that I have Hermes, and it actually has a remote access to an OpenClaw session that I have running. Even as of this morning, I was using Hermes. And what I have them do is share a memory system. So everything I do with OpenClaw and everything I do with Hermes, they all share the same knowledge. So the real benefit of having a mission control is that you can store and see everything that you want your AI to do on your computer. You can store it all locally on your computer, and all you're doing is harvesting then the AI models, and you're training your own data, and you're keeping it all local. So basically what I have here is mission control. And so, a working view storefront of performance, delivery throughput, and the handful signals that it needs. Here you have a research queue. Now, I will talk about this in just a minute, but what I want to do is kind of walk through my left-hand side tabs here and explain what each of them are doing, and then get your feedback. I want to hear what would be the most helpful, most beneficial thing that I can explain about how I came up with this, or how I've developed it over time. But basically, what I have here is the use of AI, how I'm using AI to help me in terms of my work, my church responsibilities, as well as just my own personal life. So I want to use AI in a smart and efficient way that does not have a lot of expenses associated with it. A lot of this can be done with even just the $20 Chat GPT plan, believe it or not. So a lot of people don't know about the real capabilities here, but at the end of the day, I want to be able to complete and finish my projects faster. That's what I want you to learn as a result of this lesson. And then what else we might get into is what I want to start. So I'm going to walk you through kind of the things that I'm working on. This is real time. This is live right now. So if you are joining this, you're actually hearing me live right now. And what I want to do is show you what I'm developing, but also I want to begin to build out with you in real time the newsletter platform that I'm going to be hosting. And so I want to target my audience to people in the AEC industry. That's the architecture, engineering, and construction industry. I want to target them because there's so many demands, there's so many emails they have to keep in touch with, and so many different moving parts and projects, as well as this idea of MCP, Model Connection Protocol, Model Context Protocol, that can really, I think, be leveraged by this industry, and nobody's talking about it. So I want to be able to introduce that. If you've seen a couple of my other live videos, I have been live in person before, but I think this format works a lot better, and I'm new to the recording software and everything, so I'm learning this as we go. I'm learning this alongside you. So this is where we are going to be working together, and I'm going to be taking your feedback. As I see people enter into the chat and they share their information with me, that's going to help me understand and navigate exactly what I need to do and what I should be working on to provide the best value and content to you. So to start out, we have this mission control overview, and then it moves into tasks. So what I'm probably way far into this, where you might even be wondering, what is he talking about? I don't even understand what's going on. Mission control is just like I said, it's a web interface that I had AI build for me, where I just opened up a chat and said build a web interface and host it on my local computer, and it was able to do that for me. I can also assign it tasks, and the way that I have it set up is that if I enter a new task, it will we can say create a new section for research, or how about for LinkedIn posting, right? Because a lot of my audience is on LinkedIn. I can give it details about this. I can tell it where in the progress I want it to start. Right now I'm going to have it in my backlog, and I'll show you what that means here in just a minute. But basically, I can provide it all of these details, and then I can save the task, and it's going to drop it into the backlog. And this is really nice, because what happens is there are jobs that look at my backlog. I have a job that runs once an hour, and it looks at my backlog, and anything in my backlog it will move to in progress. And in progress means that AI is working on completing the task that it has been assigned. So within an hour, I would expect it to create a new section in my mission control called LinkedIn posting, and it would show up somewhere in here if I described it accurately enough. So that's the goal, is like how I can manage all of my my web interface here using my backlog, my in progress, and then anything on hold, and then what it's completed. And you can look and see I have had a lot of tasks completed over time. So that's one way that I can interface with this mission control, is I can manually assign it tasks. What's better than manually assigning tasks is to actually have my Hermes desktop agent assign it a task. And in fact, I could say assign a new task to my mission control tasks. And it could be in backlog, add a title called LinkedIn posting. And I can send that, and what it's going to do is Hermes is going to use my ChatGPT subscription, and that's what's responding here is my ChatGPT subscription, just my $20 plan, and it's going to agentically update my tasks, and it should create a new task in here called LinkedIn posting in backlog if it does exactly what I'm asking it. So it looks through this and it's creating that, and it's running the script now. So we should have that fairly soon. Now that's tasks. Tasks are amazing. They are kind of fundamental to how Hermes and OpenClaw work. They assign tasks and then they run those tasks on a schedule. And that schedule is actually planned out here in the calendar. So you can actually see everything that you want to schedule. It will show you in a calendar view. So you can see that, every day I have certain tasks that run. A lot of them kick off at 6 a.m. I have a LinkedIn final draft that I have happen at 2 o'clock, and then a friction builder session that happens at 10 p.m. And so what session, and for example, what a ACO friction builder is it looks at the web and finds pain points that people are having in my industry and assimilates that information. So, or puts it into a list for me. So you can see, like, it'll create LinkedIn posts and it will go out and look at the web and do web research for me. And all of this happens in an automated fashion. Also have a weekly backup that runs on Sunday at 2 in the morning. So there's a lot that this can do, but this really just shows you an overview of your calendar. But next, I also have projects. So any new project that I want to work on, and I have a number of them, including this mission control right here. But any new project that I want to work on, now I can add it to my mission control, and mission control will track it and show me the progress. Listing Doctor is a web app that I am building right now using vibe coding techniques. I am building out Listing Doctor, which connects through API to my Etsy website, and what it does there is it can actually link to anyone. It's multi-tenant, which means it can connect to any computer, it can connect to anyone's Etsy account, and using their credentials, and it will use AI to update their account and also review everything in their listings. It will give you a grade on all of your listings, and that's really what Listing Doctor does. It's a way to look at everyone's listings and say, this is what's wrong, this is what you need to fix, and all of that is based on curated knowledge about what performs well, not just from Etsy's website that has the Etsy seller documentation, but also from valuable feedback in the Etsy sellers community. So this is a really nice product that I'm building and want to release at some point. So, and maybe that's going to be part of my live streams, is building out the Listing Doctor, as well as managing my mission control. I have a Bible study progressive web app that I want to build as well. I'm stuck between whether it's going to be a Bible study app or whether it's a Bible memory app. I need to decide on that. But maybe that's another live stream session that we can begin to build that out. As well as Shopify integration. And this became more difficult for me. I think that Shopify has its strengths, and if you are really good at search engine optimization, you can get good results with Shopify, but I haven't seen as much success with it as I have with Etsy. Now, Landmarks Premium is my Etsy account, where Listing Doctor is working on an Etsy platform for Etsy sellers. Landmarks Premium is my own personal Etsy account where I sell my digital wall maps and map prints. So these are the 5 projects that I have loaded in here right now. But beyond that, what this mission control does for me is it keeps a record, a daily record of all of my previous chats. All of my previous information comes in to this knowledge base. And so I can have a full list, and it's loading the files now. And I have a full history. You can see a daily record of all of the tasks, the projects, any information that I am making updates to. It will collect here. Not only that, but it'll collect all of my Word documents, anything that I share with it that I want it to digest as a document. It will do that. And so you can see I have a vision board. I've got my Shopify integration strategy, and just a lot of different helpful, unique information that I share with it over time. If I didn't have this knowledge base, then my ChatGPT subscription would not have the memory, the curated memory that I want it to have. And that's the real benefit of having this. When you're in ChatGPT, you are limited to their system. If you sign into your ChatGPT account or you sign into your Claude account, you're limited to their system, and your data is stored on their cloud. But you can't ever get it down, and you can't ever use it for purposes that you need it for without a lot of customization. But with your own knowledge base, and maybe we'll work through how to tie in things like codecs, how to tie these in together, how to work through the settings to tie in your infrastructure, so that all of your AI applications, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude or Hermes or OpenClaw or your mission control, they all share the same memory backbone. Right now I do that through linear, and so I have it where I have it creating tasks. They're all getting uploaded to this linear app, and so all of my tasks then are being stored by linear. All right. So maybe we'll go through that another time. One thing I want to point out is that there are times where I am chatting with my AI and ask for information that it now has access to in my knowledge base. And so it's a very good way to store memory about everything that you're building. So you need a knowledge base, and that's what I'm building out. So you're gonna watch me build this out over future sessions, where we're gonna go through how to build this out. We're gonna look at all of the different unique tips and features that go into building out our knowledge base. On top of that, I have what's called the research feed. Now, I've made some changes to this recently, but what I wanted, my vision for this was I wanted social media accept only curated information that I have it go out onto the web and find. And so instead of scrolling through social media feed that looks at my friends' posts and information that they may be saying about the latest game or what the weather's like, instead I have it doing research for me on the web. So it's going out onto the web and it's finding new opportunities that I might be interested in. it's finding LinkedIn angles for me to pursue, like how I can use this to create a post on LinkedIn, and it's doing it through Google search. It's doing it through its connection to my social media accounts. It's doing it through generic web search and other means to go out and find to go out and surface information that I otherwise wouldn't really know about. And so you can see it's talking about Fable 5, which is not available right now. It's currently unavailable. So CAD and GIS production teams, it's summarizing the content that it's finding out on the web. And so I say show evidence, and then it shows me what it found and what the sources of that are. So here, for example, it's saying repeated across 424 findings from Google News and other unknown sources. Strong overlap with my AEC AI audience. Strong audience fit. Repeated evidence and a concrete workflow angle. The underrated AI opportunity is not replacing production teams. It is removing the tiny repetitive checks that slow them down. And so it's looking at productivity for CAD and for GIS and how to practically automate those things. And it's saying that this is a good angle because there are 424 findings that relate to this. And here's some. So what's new in instant apps? With Esri, it must have identified and categorized that as a CAD or GIS production need. Information integration and interoperability shift from deterministic data mapping problem to a cognitive reasoning problem, automatedbuildings.com. So that's an interesting source. And you can see I can open up the source and it should take me to the site where I can read more about exactly why it found that to be an interesting article. So basically all of those things get summarized into these major categories. AEC data hygiene is the blocker for before useful agents, so repeated across 158 findings. So you see that this can be extremely helpful. Now this morning, what I was wanting to do was, and tell me if this is interesting to you, but I want to share with you a way for us to look at new articles, new journal entries, and new research papers to stay on top of the developments that are happening in AI and to use AI to help us understand them, sort of provide that abstract, except my problem is that I can't even understand the abstract sometimes when I'm reading a research paper, and I need it broken down a little bit more. And so I wanted to upload to research to find out what those developments are. So that's one angle that I also want to go. But then also under organization, I have this agent organization. Now, the way this started was I had a number of agents running. You can see them down here. I had Forge, Codex, Scout, Quill, Closer, and Beacon. These all 6 running at one point in time. I have not stayed on top of them, and I have stayed with just the single agent who is named Atlas. And Atlas is my agent that I speak to on, or that I communicate with on Telegram. So I can open up Telegram here, and I can show you that I can have a chat with here with Atlas. So I can message Atlas. I can say, "Hi, Atlas. How are you?" And you'll see it's going to respond to me. Now this is an interface that I can have on my phone, on my cell phone. I have Telegram, and I can chat with Atlas on my telephone. or on my cell phone and send it messages. I can also log in from any browser and chat with Atlas. And what it's doing is sending this message from any location. It'll send this message as long as you're signing a Telegram to my local computer, and it will begin to run tasks. Now, right now, my Atlas is a little bit broken. Used to provide a lot better responses, just in terms of communication. You know, it would respond, but I haven't stayed on top of my Telegram chat with it. We're going to work on getting this so that it's honed in and responding the way that we want it to. But these are the kinds of things that I am working to get better. So you can see here I'm having a conversation with my Hermes. Now Atlas is my open claw agent that has named himself Atlas. Hermes is just Hermes. It's just that. It's similar, very similar to open claw. It's just that Hermes is well, let's go look at Hermes. Hermes desktop. And you can see Hermes agent here. Now Hermes, just you can install it and run Hermes, and it will allow you to use AI models on your computer to build things using whatever you want to use your AI model for. And what this gets away from is just generative AI, and it moves you into agentic AI. And that's the real selling point for me, is being able to use a affordable AI frontier model to be able to agentically, and that's a buzzword, agentically perform tasks on my computer. That was a novel idea to me, and that's really what got me using Telegram with Atlas, and it got me into the idea that I could message my home laptop, my home computer from anywhere, and that it would begin to build out and work off of that local machine. So I really felt like it gave my computer a personality, which, sounds pretty cheesy, but it gave my computer a personality. And that was really interesting to me. So think about that. Now my computer, which it has access, Atlas has access to everything on my computer. It has access to all of my downloaded files, it has access to my Google Drive. It can browse anything on my website. If I give it a password, it can sign in to accounts for me, and it can begin to act as a personal AI assistant that has all of the resources that you want to provide to it. And that was a huge benefit to me. That the reason it became very important was because at the time I was working through a pipeline of creating my Etsy maps. And what I was doing was I created a bunch of different Python scripts, and I just needed a way to trigger them to run so that I could do it hands-free. It would just run on its own. And what really helped me cross the bridge to automate the creation and upload of these maps was Atlas, was OpenClaw, installing OpenClaw and allowing it to run and create these tasks. And it just does this all automatically. And so that was really cool. I want to walk through that with you in a future date. Really, right now is all about orientation, explaining to you what I've started with. This will help me collect my thoughts and explain the things that I am actively trying to do with the AI knowledge that I've gained. So this is where we're at. And then the office is really the same thing, basically. It used to be a visual office space of the organization, but it's basically the same thing as my agent organization. It just shows you who is really in my office. And so this is mission control. Now, I think for the rest of the time here, I really want to work towards the newsletter platform that I'm going to be building out. And I guess the idea for me is that I want to create a funnel. I want to create a way where obviously, this channel here would be one way for me to collect um, leads for my newsletter, but I also want to be able to do network, like anyone that I meet, network with who's in the AEC industry. Again, that's the industry that I work in, or with people on LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn presence, and I think I've only got about 1,000 followers on LinkedIn. But when I post there, sometimes I've found that my posting has been, I've gotten better results posting here on LinkedIn than I do on X. And so I'm just going with LinkedIn. But you can see I have, 1,200 followers. And that is all a result of AI. No, I don't use AI to write my posts. I write all of my posts. I will sometimes upload it and allow it to read through it, but I've just found that this has been a really good way to go about it. Now, here's the first post that I had made that where I really started to see a interest in impressions. And so it was just about what I saw, what was happening with Autodesk. Autodesk is becoming agentic. And so this is where I really began to see a lot of my audience show up. I mean, I can tell you this, I maybe had, 500 followers at the time, and that was just people who, I mean, that was just kind of like my own, like, very small group of people that I networked with already on LinkedIn, that I just gained as I made connections. But then I began to make these posts in a more of a strategic manner. And here I'm saying, Autodesk is becoming agentic. Keep reading to learn what this means. And so I explain it, and it started to grow. And so, these people are software engineers. I'm starting to see who's coming, who these people are that are beginning to comment on posts that I make. So you have structural drafting and 3D modeling, AI engineer manager. Here's an architect. You've got somebody in construction. And so what I'm seeing is that these are AEC people. And that's why I think I want to go the direction of a newsletter for them, because they show interest in my connection with our industry and AI. There's a lot of people who make a lot of posts about AI online, but they're not really showing how they got there. And that's what I want to do. I want to show how I got from where I was to where I am now, and how I'm creating the workflows and the back end, all of that stuff. I want to be able to show all of those things. So my LinkedIn presence has grown over time, not by much. I mean, 1,200 followers. But you can see, even to this day, I created that post only got 62. But then I had another one. That one says 28, but I had another one. If I go look at all my posts, where I've driven more traffic. So here you go, 7,000 impressions there. And you'll see just over time, there's 3,800. I had one that was a really large one. Here you go. Autodesk is redesigning their entire ecosystem for interconnected work. And this one got 34,000 impressions. I think these are just reposts. That's why they have kind of lower views, or posting to subgroups. But that's the goal here, is how can I leverage, the analytics that I'm seeing here to create a newsletter. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how to create a newsletter. I don't know what is good about a newsletter or anything like that, but here's what I do know is I want to show up for this as a weekly session where we are going to build out my newsletter, and we're going to try and grow it. Now, my goal is to have 1,000 subscribers. If I can get, or well, Yeah, are they subscribers to your newsletter? I guess they are. Yeah, 1,000 subscribers. And basically, I need to figure out what content goes into my newsletter. I already know my audience. And so I read a helpful book by Michael Masterson. It's on my shelf. It's called Ready, Aim, Fire. And in that, he talks about the benefit of starting with who your customer is. So I'm trying to take his strategy here and start with a who. Who is my customer? It's these AEC professionals. And since it's the industry that I'm in, I know them very well, especially the technical side of the work. So I'm working on creating an AI AEC style newsletter. Would greatly appreciate your help if you could somehow provide me with direction on how to do this, on what to create, and we're going to go through it together. I mean, I'm going to be learning. We're going to be using AI. We're going to be using my mission control, developing it out so that it supports new content as well as provides to you the content that you want to see. Now, I went to Beehive and I just started. I just signed in. I haven't done anything else. I've just signed into it, and that was right before I started this live stream. So you're really seeing me at the brand new, not understanding what's going on. And so apparently my launch plan here, which I'm just seeing right now, says 0 of 2,500 subscribers. So maybe the goal is 2,500 subscribers, not 1,000. Either way, I want to take my LinkedIn audience, I want to take my networking audience of people I talk to and regularly meet in my industry, and I want to take anything that I can do with ads or SEO, whatever it is, to convert people to my newsletter. If I can get them to my newsletter, I can nurture them with trusted, valuable information that I want to provide, and then I can sell products to them. Good products, things that I would want to stand behind, things that I want to use. And so I want to monetize a portion of my audience that would want to buy the things that I have to offer. Not just advice, which I think is very valuable, but to use that advice, to use the things that I can offer to monetize my audience. And that would be, to me, the most exciting thing to see come out of this. And so that's really the direction that I want to go with the newsletter. And I want to begin to build that out. And so that's one aspect of it that I'm going to be doing on a weekly basis. So this is my goal, and this is the direction that I am going. So if you have any advice for me as far as that's concerned, let me know. One aspect of my projects that I was looking at, I have a lot of different projects listed, well, 5 of them listed here, but I need to be developing an app builder. And so I'm thinking through this idea where every night Mission Control scours the web. Atlas, it is. Atlas built this. I mean, I talk about Mission Control doing something. Atlas is what built this. When I talked to Atlas, it actually put all of this together for me. And I just communicate with it, and it continues to build it out. But I would like Atlas to build through my research, and I'm going to have a project where it's going to app builder, where it's going to build new apps for me. And this could be a feature or a component of my newsletter. And so maybe the first thing I do is add my newsletter. And we'll just call it the AEC newsletter for now. AEC AI newsletter. Right? And it is my highest priority. And it is active. And it's at 0 right now. What is this initiative about? I am building an newsletter to gain Oh no. Okay. For to monetize my audience from LinkedIn, networking, ads, and SEO, and other top of funnel sources. So that's the idea. So newsletter, AI, AEC, newsletter, AEC, and then yeah, we'll just start with that. And so I create it, and there it is. So I've got my AEC AI newsletter as a project that I'm working on. So we're going to be visiting the projects a lot to make sure that we are moving these along and that we're making good progress on them. Again, any recommendations that you have, anything you want to see, just let me know, and we'll make that happen. I think that really covers the majority of what it is that I wanted to cover. I do want the app builder though. So when I think about an app builder, what I'm looking for is the pain points that people are hitting. Is that something I should add, or should I not add an app builder to my list of projects? That's where I'm at. What is the next step I should take in building out my newsletter? Is it creating a landing page? Is it creating a LinkedIn post that links to a landing page? What's the next step? What's the first thing I should tackle in creating my newsletter? And what should I call my newsletter? Help me understand those things, and I will see you back here next week. I plan to do another session just like this on Friday. We'll see if we cover the newsletter there. So catch me live on Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 o'clock. Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 o'clock Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Noon. So I will see you next time, and thanks for joining this live stream. I'll see you. Bye.